Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm here tonight because I have a requested video, and this is one that I think I enjoyed quite a bit doing. This video is about growing older, what I've learned since I have grown older, and I am so touched by being requested to do this video because a lot of times on this platform I feel that it is a platform that is primarily dominated by young people, and for someone to even want to know or care about what it's like to be a middle-aged woman and on this platform, it is so amazing. Just gonna adjust my camera a little bit. I remember receiving an email, and the gentleman in the email, I think, was with some company or whatever, and they were actually asking me to do more videos that dealt with things that middle-aged people deal with or older people deal with. They felt that my channel would probably grow if I dealt with topics that people of my age, would want to hear about. And I never thought about age as far as, well, let me talk about these particular things because, younger people wouldn't want to hear this. But I think I disagree now, because a lot of times people are looking for advice and or tips. I won't necessarily call it advice, tips, or just information that can benefit them as they get older. When I was young, I really, some people say I'm still young, but, I'm not as young as I used to be. So when I was young, I used to dream about having a person that I could actually sit down with to advise me on things. Because when you're dealing with men, you're dealing with career moves and changes and spirituality and different things. Sometimes you want to seek wise counsel. And a lot of times wise counsel come with experience, with someone that has lived a little while in life and that has learned a few things, have had a couple of notches and knockdowns. And so, that would have been something that I think I would have benefited from as a young person. So being that now I am the middle-aged woman at that point, my life is full of experiences. It's full of lessons and mistakes and, being knocked down and standing back up. I mean, I've gone through a lot, and I feel that this information is not something I need to just hold. It's something that I need to share with others. So thank you so much to that person, and I'm not gonna, reveal your name. They didn't want me to do that. And thank you for reaching out to me and requesting this video. Okay, things I've learned. There are so many things, so there may be a part 2 to this video, but I'm gonna deal with some basic things I've learned. One of the things that I learned most about growing up is the importance of your finances, keeping them in order. When we're young, we're always, trying to look a certain way or appear a certain way to our peers. Peer pressure is a thing. I'm telling you, it is something that I think at some point in life, everyone has fallen prey to. You may have been fortunate to come up in a family that taught you some things when you were very young and you kind of avoided that particular situation. But a lot of times kids hit that some kind of way, either in high school or you hit it in college, or right, as soon as you get out of college, because you're trying to fit into society. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You want to look a certain way. You want to look as if you got things together. So with that being said, when I was young, it was important to me because I grew up and I didn't have a lot. So as I got older, I wanted to look that way. I wanted to look the part of someone who has arrived or someone who has succeeded in life. So I created debt and things. I went out and spent and bought things, to have the appearance of a person that was successful or someone that was doing well in life. And looking back now, I think about all of the things that I purchased and all of the money that I just kind of threw away frivolously, spending, traveling, doing things when I could have been saving at that time, where I could be. Now, this video is not about putting down myself or anything like that. These are just life lessons that I learned. So it's important for me to share that with you guys, that when you're young, when you're in your 20s and you're coming out of high school and you're in college, that it's always important to put aside a couple dollars here and there, just to start learning what it means to save and to invest. I didn't think about that. I was one of the first people who owned stock in Walmart. When Walmart was just coming out, and it wasn't big, it wasn't no big deal. Nobody cared about Walmart. It was nobody. It was just another department store. And I was fortunate to get hired at one of the first stores that they had in Tennessee. And when you got employed there, you automatically gained stock. And so I worked at that particular store for maybe a year. And when I left that store, I kept getting letters from Walmart, and they wanted me to sell me the stock that I had. And I went on and on about it, and I didn't think about it. And then the last letter I got, it was, I can't remember exactly, but I think the amount of money they were offering me was around $500, I want to say. And to me, as a young 20-something-year-old woman, that was a lot of money. I was like, wow, $500, I'm thinking, that's a lot of money. So I sold my stock. Look where Walmart is now. Look where it is now, guys. If I had kept that stock, what could I have done with my life? So that was a life lesson for me. Another thing that I've learned is that true friendship never dies. True friendship never dies. I have been fortunate in my life to have lots of friends. I've always had a lot of female friends. I had a circle of friends. I think about 5 women that I considered to be friends. But when you're young and you're running around with people, you think that that's what friendship is defined as. But friendship is not just defined as people who have fun with you. Friendship is defined as people that are there for you when you can't do anything for them. It's defined as people who will stick with you through the hard times, when you're down on your luck, when you're heartbroken, when you're sick. When you have people that will stick with you through some of the hardest parts of your life, and they support you, they're there for you, they don't care what come what may, they're there for you, then you learn what true friendship is. A lot of times people learn who their friends aren't when they hit a rough patch in life. It could be by way of a relationship or trouble with the law or, your finances or, anything. Then people start dwindling, going down, they go away, get sick. You'll understand what it means to have a friend. So I've learned to appreciate the people that has remained in my life through thick and thin. And I've had some people in my life that I really thought were friends, because we had great times. We were supportive, it seemingly, we did a lot of things together. But when the chips fell, those people were not around. So to my best friend, Cheryl, I'm going to shout you out on here. I thank you, because this sister right here has been with me from high school. This, from our days as flag girls, all the way up until now. And even though at times we lost touch, we didn't communicate as much, life happened, children getting pregnant and marriages and divorces and, different things came up in our life that took us apart. But our friendship has remained intact. And I think now we're closer than ever. We learned in our older years what it means to value what having a friend means. And a lot of times you think that your friend has to be exactly like you, that everything that you do, they got to be able to do too. You can be different. But I know that when it comes to trust and it comes to advice, that person is going to be there for me. So learn who your friends are in life, because those people will carry you sometimes when family is not there. Sometimes when you feel all alone and you have no one to look to but God, He will sometimes put that one person there that you need. So I really appreciate that. And as I've gotten older, I've learned how to be able to reciprocate that relationship and be able to be the type of friend I need to be in return. And God has placed a few of those people in my life, and I really, really appreciate that. So that is a valuable lesson that I learned. Also with relationships, it's not so important to just rush to it. You know, I heard a sermon today or a message today, and it talked about a woman being as like a Rubik's Cube. And if you guys remember the Rubik's Cube, it had different colors on it, and you turned it. It was kind of like a puzzle. And you turned it and you matched and you lined up the colors. And you did that because once you lined up all of the colors, you won. You know, you won the game or the puzzle or whatever it is. And women are compared to that. And being a Rubik's Cube, a man can't figure you out to the point where he can manipulate you. You're always surprising him. And you're not easy. You're not easily predictable. You know, in today's society, women are leading. You know, they're taking the reins and feeling like being independent is where it is. You know, I got to show that I'm a boss. I'm a boss lady. I do boss moves instead of being a lady. You know, being able to be self-reliant and independent doesn't mean that you have to man up and you got to be this tough individual and you talk like, you know, a street hood, or, you know, women feel that, a lot of young women feel that that's meaning you're strong. But men like women who are soft. They like women who are ladylike. And I've learned that. And I don't think I ever lost that part of me, but feeling the need to rush into a relationship was something that took me time to learn about. So embracing my singleness and appreciating getting to know someone, you know, learning everything about them, because later in life you find out that a lot of the things that you thought about that person wasn't, because you didn't take the time to get to know them. That is something that's very valuable to me. Family is also very important to me in valuing those relationships and cultivating them. Having a mother now that is dealing with dementia and knowing the person she used to be, how vibrant she was, you know, and the things that she did, and not being able to see that woman now, I can appreciate who she was and remember those things now that her mind is diminishing and I can't see that anymore. I can also look back and appreciate the fact that although we had a rough relationship, I can appreciate some of the things that I learned and try to be that mom to my children. And, you know, I have been I think a more supportive mom than I received. And I think each generation should be that way. So I'm hoping that the lessons I've learned and the things that I try to teach my children, that they'll be better parents to their children. And each one of my children have a child now. I just became a new grandma. And so, you know, all three of them have a child now. So they can be more of a parent than I was. It doesn't bother me to feel like my children learned that from me and that they were able to do things or be more involved in their lives or to teach them more things than I wasn't able to teach them. It is always good that each generation do better than the generation before. So those are just a few things that I've learned growing older. Appreciating life. I value the things that are around me now. Simplicity, knowing that less is more, you know, because I can truly appreciate spending time out in nature, traveling, seeing things that I've never seen before, appreciating the fact that God wakes me up every morning at this age of life. And not that I'm like, you know, that old. I'm over 50, but not that I'm at that point where I'm ready to sit down in a rocking chair, because I love life. I love living. I love traveling. I love photography. I love art. I love music. And I get out and I appreciate them. I can actually take time, as people say, to smell the roses, because I can appreciate every aspect of life And when you're young, you're just racing through it. You don't realize that at some point in life, each one of those things are going to be very valuable to you. So I hope that this was beneficial to someone to take the time to slow down and to think about what your life is going to mean to you in 15 years or 20 years, and what you can learn, what you can give back. Because paying it forward, it's no feeling like that. To be able to pay forward the things that you've learned and the things that God has blessed you with. So I hope you guys have a fabulous night, and I will get back with you in another video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for my subscribers and the people who have supported me throughout this journey. And I look forward to continued support from you guys. And I just love you guys, and I appreciate you so much. So take care and have a fabulous evening. Peace and love.